The political handshake between Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto that birthed the broad-based government has divided this country right in the middle. It is this handshake that led to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. It is the same handshake that killed the Gen Z's protest. The broad-based government is saying that they are uniting this country. And they're saying that there was a point in time when William Ruto's government was very shaky and it was at a risk of being toppled. And they're arguing that Raila Amolo Odinga came in and helped William Ruto stable the government. But the opponents of this are arguing that it was only meant for personal fortunes. And they are accusing Raila Amolo Odinga as being a traitor because of the Gen Zs. They are claiming that he took advantage of the Gen Z's protest and he's using this to revenge on Rigathi Gachagua. In Nyanza, there is a supremacy battle between Raila Amolo Odinga and James Orengo because James Orengo, the Siaya governor, has declined to embrace the broad-based government. Orengo feels that William Ruto is very unpopular and therefore supporting him would mean supporting a failed government. And he believes that in 2027, the ODM party has a chance to form the next government because William Ruto will not be re-elected. In fact, recently, when the High Court ruled that Azimio is the majority party, Orengo felt that it was a golden opportunity to take over government. But Raila has proved that he's very much loyal and honest in this handshake government. In Nyanza, they are claiming that William Ruto has given them positions that they've never held before. And therefore, they feel that no one should touch William Ruto. Ruto is now untouchable. But James Orengo disagrees. He says that any development, any share of the national cake is the right of the Luo Nyanza because they are taxpayers. And he's saying that we need to tell the president the truth, otherwise the country is going back to the dogs.
Ruto is a passing cloud. I am saying that without a fear of contradiction.
This country will go to the dogs again if the kind of language I'm hearing here, you continue with that language. Please, when you have something being brought to Siaya, it is a matter of right. It is not you are being given, it's a matter of right.
He definitely embarrassed the community and the county, and we are demanding from him to apologize. And if he does not apologize, definitely the MCAs are within their rights to hold him to account. They can censure him, and they could even get to the point of introducing an impeachment mission.
Now, those sentiments have angered Raila Amolo Odinga and his allies, and Orengo is now feeling the heat of the supporters of the broad-based government, and they are warning that they are going to impeach Orengo. I understand that there are serious discussions about tabling an impeachment motion against James Orengo.
We are in government, and we are participating in creating policies for this government. And we are supporting this government inside, outside Parliament, wherever we are. I want to tell my governor, the Governor James Orengo, Honorable Speaker, last weekend we were at a funeral in Siaya when the president came to condole with us. And my governor made certain remarks that were really distasteful. I want to tell Governor Orengo that Luos were not created to stay in opposition. I know that he has been in opposition since he was born, and that there's nothing else he understands other than opposition. He is a poor manager. The country that he's supposed to run is doing badly. We want to urge him to focus on running Siaya County. That is the job he has been given to do.
You cannot say that development projects coming to this region or to Migori or to Siaya is the right of the people. You cannot say that, because even if it is true that development is your right, you must realize that resources are ever scarce. Resources are ever scarce, and that is why people lobby for them.
Now, we all understand that Orengo and Raila need each other, especially if Raila is going to contest in 2027. There comes a time when Raila says his votes are rigged, and Orengo is a brain, a legal brain that Raila would not want to do without. But it's also understandable that for James Orengo to be elected, he needs Raila's support in Siaya. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think the ODM can make good their threat and impeach James Orengo? What would be the repercussion? Because we all know that people like Babu Owino, people like Edwin Sifuna, people like Caleb Amisi are some of the ODM members who do not support the handshake between Raila and William Samoei Ruto. They feel that William Ruto killed them during the Gen Z's protest, during the Azimio protest, and therefore they feel that instead of supporting William Ruto, they should be fighting for justice of those who died or the victims of police brutality. In this video, I want us to look at some of the ways the ODM and the broad-based government can decide to punish James Orengo if they decide that they want to deal with him. Kindly subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Don't forget to like and share our videos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the number one method Raila Amolo Odinga and or William Ruto can decide to deal with James Orengo is impeachment. You know that every governor has a deputy. Just 1 year ago, the deputy governor of Siaya, William Oduor, was impeached because they were not reading from the same script as James Orengo. But he was saved by the Senate because back then, Raila and Ruto were also not in good terms. So the majority of the Kenya Kwanza senators ganged up and saved William Oduor. But now, if Raila and William Ruto want to punish James Orengo, they can decide, Raila can engineer an impeachment motion against James Orengo because he will simply talk to the MCAs and then they impeach James Orengo, they talk to Oduor, Oduor will simply take over and he will be loyal to the process, he will be loyal to the authority and he will be embracing the handshake. Do you think they can get the numbers? I believe they can. You cannot underestimate the power of a governor because they are very close with the MCAs, but the influence of Raila Amolo Odinga in Nyanza, I can assure you, if he so decides that Orengo is going to be impeached, they will impeach him. It must be understood that in, I think, all the governors in Nyanza, Raila plays a very pivotal role. Anawashika mkono, you talk of Ochila Yako, of Migori, you talk of Governor Wanga, talk of Anyang'. I think some of them were even given direct tickets. So whoever makes you can break you. And I believe if Raila wants Orengo to be impeached, then it will. What could be the consequences? I think very minimal because Nyanza seems to be very loyal to Raila Amolo Odinga. The only worry is when Orengo was saying those words in Nyanza, at the burial of Raila's aide, people are shouting and people are cheering. It tells me that some people agreed with James Orengo. That is number one. Number two, and of course, you know, once they impeach James Orengo, then the broad-based government, the broad-based senators will come and gang up and they will uphold the impeachment of James Orengo. Number two, the national government can engineer and unleash the EACC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, against the Siaya government. The same thing they did to Wamatangi, the governor of Kiambu, and they can frustrate and intimidate James Orengo. In this country, let me tell you, there is no one who is clean. I understand that each and every politician has got a file that is kept somewhere, so that if you want to kuwa na kiherehere sana, unaambiwa, wanakutolea file, wanakuambia chunga sana. And they can start auditing and investigating what has been going on in Siaya. I can assure you that from the ward level all the way to the national government, there isn't any politician who is clean. And they can use that, they can get a loophole after auditing the funds. And you will realize that they will have something to catch Orengo on. They can use that to impeach Orengo or use him to toe the line. You know, when they begin frustrating you, They will be ransacking your houses, they will invade your home, they will start frustrating, looking at the bank accounts of your children, your wife. That is the fate that Ferdinand Waititu had to go. In fact, Ferdinand is in jail as we speak. Sonko was also impeached the same way. So they can decide to use the EACC. You know, EACC is supposed to be an independent institution, but it is being controlled by the executive arm of the government. So if they decide, including the DCI, including the Office of Public Prosecution, so they can use all these mechanisms to ensure that they intimidate and frustrate Orengo, just to make life very difficult for James Orengo. They can easily do that. Number 3, they can just decide to engineer a rebellion against Orengo. Akienda Matanga, anapigiwa mayowe hapa, uwi kwenda tukutaki. They can make sure that James Orengo is under house arrest. Ukienda mahali kupigana hapa na pale, watu wako na watu wa Raila wanapigana pale, you make just one step, chaos and there, wale watu wa boda boda, life can really be very difficult. In fact, at some point, you can even see wale watu wa boda boda, those rude guys coming to eject you from your own office. And when they start frustrating you, no matter how many times you go to court, look at what happened to Kawira Mwangaza. When the broad-based government decides that you are going home, they can engineer rebellion within the Siaya County, so that in any marketplace, you cannot now go and launch any project. When you go there, there are a lot of noises, and they will empower your deputy, and before you know it, you will realize that your deputy is now taking over. It will be a very difficult moment for James Orengo if they so decide. And the last one, they can frustrate Orengo like that, but allow him to work until 2027. Then they decide not to give James Orengo the ODM ticket, so that if James Orengo wants, he can vie as an independent candidate or join any other party. Do you think in Siaya, Orengo can manage his politics if he's not in ODM? There was a time he tried when they were in SDP, Ile Angilu, but he had to toe the line. Raila compelled him to swallow humble pie. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a very difficult battle, a supremacy battle. Do you think Orengo can manage Raila in Luoland? Who do you think will blink first? Because Nyanza is shaken. People are wondering what has gone amiss. Some people are saying that William Ruto has successfully divided Luo Nyanza, because if his handshake with Raila Odinga can cause this panic, can cause such chaotic scenes, then you know that William Ruto has won. I don't know what to think, but that is my take.